Hi Mangoes, today we're going to be making moon rocks. What you need is baking soda, some plastic cups for the food coloring. I'm using black, blue, and pink. Sparkles, I only have edible sparkles, so I'm not going to be using too many, but if you do have sparkles at home, you can use more. And a quarter cup. I thought that you would be able to see the 1/4 on the handle, but you cannot. It is too dark. So you're going to take your baking soda, and you can do more than this if you'd like. I'm only doing it a little bit because I just want to show you. So I'm going to put a quarter cup of baking soda into each square container. It doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm just dumping and going. Just as long as there's enough in there to make some moon rocks. Okay, perfect. Now you're going to take your 4 cups, and I'm going to put a quarter cup of water in each cup. You might not use the full quarter cup of water, or you might use more, depending on how much of the baking soda you're using. Since I only used a quarter cup, I shouldn't need more than a quarter cup. A quarter cup is probably much too much water for my baking soda, but just to show you, I'm doing a quarter cup of baking soda and a quarter cup of water to start with. Okay, so now we're going to use our food coloring. I'm going to start with black, and I'm going to use, I think I used 2 drops. So 2 drops of black food coloring. You're going to mix it around. And then I'm going to do my blue food coloring. You can put as many drops as you want. You can make it lighter, you can make it darker. Just remember, when you put your food coloring mixture, your water mixture, into the baking soda, it is going to make it lighter. Pink is next. I did 2 drops and decided after I mixed it that 2 drops wasn't quite enough of the pink dye, so I'm going to add a few more to make it a little more bright or darker. There we go. That looks better to me. And last but not least, I'm going to be mixing 2 colors in this one. I'm going to mix pink and I'm going to mix blue. What color do you think pink and blue mixed together makes? Let's see. I can give you a hint. It starts with the letter P. You can't really tell as I'm swirling it around. Right now it just looks a little too blue, so I'm going to add some more pink food coloring and see what happens. There you go. Now you can see it. It's a little bit dark, but it won't be as dark. It is purple, but it won't be as dark when we dump it into our baking soda mixture. So now I'm taking out my edible sparkles, and I'm going to use not too many of them because they are very, very expensive. So I try not to use them too much. It's more for cake decorating and making your sweet treats a little sparkly and more pretty. So now we're going to start pouring our water mixture into our baking soda. So if you see me, I'm only using a little bit at a time. I did not use all of the water in that cup. So we'll start out with a little bit, and you can see it in there. So I'll add a little bit more. And we're going to mix it until it gets to be a crumbly texture and all of the baking soda is dyed. So I'm gonna mix, 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 and let's see if we think there's enough water in there. It doesn't look like there's enough water in there quite yet, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Just, I realized that is the wrong color. That is purple. And add a little bit more. See, there's still some water in there. I only used about half of the quarter cup, so that would be 1/8 of a cup. I'm gonna mix, and you see how nicely that's coming together now. So now it's forming a crumbly mixture to where I can take my hands and create a moon rock out of it. Next, I'm going to do my purple, and this one I'm just going to pour, and I'm just gonna eye it and pour. See, and it looks like I had about half in there. I'm gonna mix, mix, mix. Uh-oh, it looks a little soupy, and it looks like I have too much water in there. Do you see that? It's just mixing, mixing, mixing around, and it's still very watery. Oh no. So, what you do in this case is you add some more baking soda. So you add some more baking soda, you mix, 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 and see if it gets any better. Okay, so it seems to be soaking up the water, and it looks to be a little better. So, not quite. Gonna add some more. It's okay if you have to add more baking soda. That's not a big deal. If you have to add more baking soda or more water, either way, if you accidentally put too much water in there, you can fix it with more baking soda. So it's not a big deal. So this one is gonna be a little more wet than the first one. And I'm going to make a ball out of this. And you'll see how this one is a little more wet than the other one. But that's okay, because we are going to freeze our moon rocks for 30 minutes before we finish our experiment. Now we're going to move on to our blue, and we're going to mix it up really quick and then make our moon rock ball. And here we go with our final color of pink. Mix it up, make our last moon rock ball. And after this, we are going to freeze our moon rocks for 30 minutes. So I'll be back in 30 minutes, and you will see what happens with our moon rocks when we add some vinegar to them. I'm so excited. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. We're going to take our vinegar, and we are going to pour it into a cup and use an eyedropper to control how much vinegar goes onto the moon rock. If you don't have an eyedropper, pouring the vinegar slowly onto there will work, but I have an eyedropper at home, so I'm going to use it. So you're going to take your vinegar and your eyedropper. You're going to squeeze your eyedropper and then let go a little bit while still holding it, and it will suck up the vinegar. and you're going to squeeze it onto the moon rock, and we're going to watch what happens. This was the one that I had a little too much water in, so it doesn't react too much, but we will still see a reaction. So I squeezed 2 eyedroppers full, and if you see on the bottom, it is starting to fizz a little bit. There we go. Look at all the fizzing happening. How cool. That's what happens when baking soda and vinegar react to one another. So they fizz and they bubble up. Thanks for watching, Mangoes. I hope you enjoyed our moon rock experiment.